We are repeatedly told that humans are social creatures. Any social isolation is unhealthy and that constant connection leads to growth. This claim is repeated so often that it now sounds like a fact. It is not. Psychology and philosophy draw a more uncomfortable conclusion. Growth does not come from maximum exposure to society. It comes from selective distance. Society is necessary for survival, but survival and excellence are not the same thing. At the level of personal development, society is frequently inimical, not because people are evil, but because averages dominate. And averages reward mediocrity. From a psychological perspective, prolonged exposure to social environments saturated with gossip, comparison, ridicule, and conformity pressure creates measurable cognitive load. Your mental energy is diverted away from thinking and toward monitoring social signals, approval, rejection, status. Social psychology identifies this as normative influence, the unconscious pressure to align with group expectations. It does not feel coercive. That is precisely why it works. Over time, this influence attenuates independent judgment. Your ambitions become negotiable, your standards adjustable. Your originality is quietly supplanted by what is rewarded socially, not what is meaningful individually. Society is often described as neutral. This is false. Society conditions behavior. It selects traits. Visibility over substance, speed over depth, agreement over insight. For individuals pursuing long-term intellectual, creative, or professional growth, this conditioning is not harmless. It is pernicious. The constant evaluation, likes, attention, mockery, trains the mind to seek validation instead of competence. Nietzsche warned that the crowd exerts a gravitational pull toward the lowest common denominator. Modern psychology supports this through social comparison theory. Chronic comparison correlates with anxiety, reduced self-efficacy, and motivational decay. This is why intelligent and ambitious people often feel mentally exhausted without producing anything meaningful. They are socially stimulated, but cognitively depleted. Philosophically, withdrawal is not a modern pathology, it is an ancient strategy. The Stoics practiced intentional detachment to preserve rational control. Schopenhauer argued that solitude is the cost of intellectual independence. Even Aristotle, despite valuing community, recognized that deep contemplation requires distance from daily social noise. This is not hatred of people, it is discrimination of influence. Not every voice deserves access to your mind. Personality psychology is unequivocal on one point. Environments shape dispositions. If the dominant social atmosphere is cynical, shallow, or defeatist, prolonged exposure will engender those traits in you, regardless of intelligence or intention. Believing yourself immune is not confidence, it is naivete. Career growth demands deep work, extended concentration without interruption. History shows that highly productive individuals, scientists, writers, entrepreneurs, did not succeed through constant social presence. They were not antisocial. They were fastidious about inputs. What enters your mind determines what can leave it. Staying away from society, therefore, is not isolation. It is curation. It is the refusal to let banal opinions and hackneyed life scripts dictate your trajectory. Growth is fragile, especially at the beginning. Ideas require silence.
Ambitions require protection. Identity requires space. Society rarely offers silence. It offers noise, marketed as a connection. Stepping back creates a vacuum where clarity and competence can burgeon. This is not a rejection of humanity. It is a strategic retreat, a refusal to outsource your mind to a misaligned environment. Distance here is not a weakness. It is a discipline.